It was a cracking match, wasn't it, at the weekend that saw Borussia Dortmund come from behind to beat Bayern Munich, meaning now their lead over the defending champions is 7 points. We know Raf Honigstein, Jupp Heynckes isn't coming back. They've confirmed it, he's not going to come out of retirement for the 75th time. So, the question is, if he was available, would they pull the trigger now? Would they bring him back if they could?
Yeah, if he was available, they would pull the trigger, but he isn't, and there isn't really anyone else who Bayern are convinced could come in straight away and make a very difficult dressing room perform better. And that is the reason why Niko Kovac is surviving at the moment, almost by default. Bayern don't want to be appearing too panicky, and I think they're almost starting to believe that this is a season that they'll have to write off, not just because of Kovac, but also because they underestimated the need to overhaul and freshen up the squad. It still might change when the likes of Tolisso and Coman and Alphonso Davies come in at the end of the year. But by and large, they underestimated Dortmund, they underestimated their own problems. And it's not going to be solved by just changing the manager. So I think Bayern, for once, will take a slightly more relaxed view and believe that the big change can only happen in the summer.
It's extraordinary to hear that when we just remind you how easily Bayern have won the title over the last 6 seasons, at least by 10 points. Raf, are we in a situation now where they're no longer favourites?
No, they're no longer favourites because 7 points is a lot, and this Dortmund team have the momentum, they have depth. The most striking feature, and there were many really interesting parts of it, what was, as you said, a thrilling game. The most striking feature for me was that Dortmund had more strength on the bench. Bayern brought in Renato Sanchez and Sandro Wagner. Dortmund brought on Dahoud, Delaney, Alcacer. They still had a couple of really good players on the bench. So for once, Dortmund, with their youthfulness, their freshness, their pace, seemed to be going in the right direction. And Bayern still a formidable force, are at best stagnating, but in real terms, of course, regressing because they're not getting close to the usual performance level. So with 7 points and the big game already done, of course, Dortmund are favourites at the moment.